everyone. Yes, I do look like a mess, and yes, I'm gonna have to figure out some way to mute my dad's music outside. These are the ways that I have chosen to live, except I did not choose any of this. But today I want to do a little mini photo shoot, and I wanted to do my makeup, and I also wanted to talk to the camera, so I decided I'm gonna do my makeup as I talk to you all about this Nikki Phillippi, whatever, I could care less about how I'm pronouncing your last name, situation as I do my makeup, because I feel like, no, not I feel like, I am enraged. So, it's time to get my hands busy, before I fight someone physically. That is a joke. I, legally speaking, am not threatening to fight someone. And I'm not going to say any of the things that I say are alleged, because all of them have been backed up. But please don't sue me though, like I'm bored. I got even more bored. Little life update with Jess that no one cares about. Today's Mother's Day. I got my period, and I got a Mercedes-Benz yesterday. So I am not rolling in dough by any means whatsoever because of these three situations. So please don't sue me. Alright, anyways, let me get my face makeup. I have like 3 bags of makeup because I like to organize things. Do I follow my own organization? No, but still, this is the way I've chosen to lead my life. Also, if I look down, it's because my mirror's under. So let's get started. Before we start, because I thought about this, I know my makeup is already done. And it's actually not editing Jess, because I feel like editing Jess would 1000% forget to add this in. So filming Jess is going to add this in here. Disclaimer, trigger warning, this video is going to be talking about child exploitation and, well, mentions of it, and talking about animal cruelty and the death of a beloved pet. So if you are sensitive to those topics, please click off of this video. I have many other videos on this channel, so that you can watch, or just watch someone else's video. That's way happier. Yeah, if you choose to continue, to go ahead, be my guest. And if not, I'll have another video posted next week, so hopefully about something happier. If you don't know, Nikki Phillippi is like a lifestyle mommy YouTuber person thing. Okay, hi. Alright, come here. Oh, she just walked away from me, that's fine. My dog came in, she's just staring at me. And then she walked out, because she's rude. So anyways, Nikki Phillippi, I forgot to grab my fan, but you know what, I'll live with it. She is a lifestyle mommy YouTuber. I believe she has like 1 or 2 million subscribers. She's married, her husband's name is Phillippi. Still can't care enough to pronounce her name correctly. I didn't wet my sponge before this. Gus, we're using a brush today. Again, I got my period. Please don't roast me in the comments. Excuse me, thank you so much. And they have a son together named Logan. Apparently, she was trying for a child for a little while. She wanted to adopt a child from Thailand, but in Thailand they have certain rules stating that if you adopt a child from there, you cannot talk about the child, document the child's life for at least a year, and then she backed out of it because Why adopt children and make their lives better if you can't monetize it? Am I right, Mika Stoffer? Anyways, so, I mean, then again, Mika Stoffer never killed her child, but still, how do you, okay, and then after that, they had their, son, Logan. Logan is a whole-ass baby. And Dan had a bull terrier named Bowser. And they also had a Yorkie. I forgot the Yorkie's name. I believe it was Lily or something like that. I don't know. I forgot. I don't have enough brain power for this. Now, I want to state two things. Well, a couple of things. Right? One is that I am not going to sit here on this channel and continue the narrative that certain dogs are aggressive, such as pit bulls or bull terriers or I did say pit bulls, didn't I? Or anything like that, because that is actually incorrect. If your dog is aggressive, that says more about you than about your dog. Okay, by you telling me your dog is aggressive, I gather more information about you than I could ever gather about your dog. You know what? I think I'm just gonna do it all over my face. Not to cover my acne or anything, but just because I can. You know? And I say this because no dog is aggressive by just being a certain breed or anything like that. Two is that I have 3 dogs. If you didn't know, they are literal angels, could never do anything wrong. I love them. I mean, they do wrong, but, you know, it's nothing intense or anything like that. Right? 2 of them, I do not know what breed they are because they are rescues. We found them on the street and we picked them up. And I have a soft spot for my heart because of that. For rescue dogs, because, you know, I'm of the belief that every dog deserves a home and a loving family that's going to take care of them and protect them and love them for the rest of their life. My oldest dog, we've had him for 10 years, since I was 8 years old, and I'm currently 18, so we've had him for a while, since I was in like 3rd grade. And I love that dog to smithereens, I swear to God. And when he was about 7, I would say like around 7 or 8 years old, he was attacked by my neighbor's dog. They had adopted a new dog, a puppy, but the puppy was way bigger than my dog. Right? And they knew it liked to jump fences because they had adopted it from like one of those like adoption centers. Because here in my state, they hold like little adoption things. I'm pretty sure every other state has them, so I don't know why I'm educating you on it, but they adopted this dog. They knew it liked to jump fences. It jumped the fence. It saw my dog. they got into a fight. And my dog was severely hurt, right? The dog had bit him under the arm. He got a little scratch on his back from the fence. My dog. And we had to take him to the vet. We had to take him to the vet, and he got like a little tube to like get the other dog's blood out of his system, and he had to go on like medication for a week. We had to keep him in like a little hallway that we have, a little entranceway. I don't know why I can't open this. But we had to keep him there, separated from the other dog, to keep him safe. And I remember like everyone in my family was devastated by this, obviously, because he's our baby. We've had him for the longest, and we love him, and he was severely hurt, and I am 99.9% sure that he has trauma from this, right? And it physically pains me. And like a year ago or something, like about a year ago, my dad had to break up a fight between both of our dogs outside. And just dust everywhere. And our dog bit him because he had touched him under the arm. And his arm was hurt for like a month. Like he literally couldn't do anything. Not his arm, his hand, my bad. And we avoided completely any way that our dog could be euthanized.
Why, hello there. Editing Jess here. First thing I would like to address, which you may have already seen, is that the audio is going in and out. The background music, is going in and out. And that is 1000% because I filmed this on Mother's Day and my parents were having a party, so they were blasting loud music that is copyrighted. So I had to replace it with my own uncopyrighted music. And it's extremely loud, and I was at some point speaking extremely low, so I had to compensate. So I'm so sorry for that. Another thing, I looked this up, and in the state of Florida, they do not have a one-bite rule, which means that the one-bite law is basically if your dog bites someone and injures that person severely, they can be euthanized. Florida does not have that, so my dog couldn't legally be euthanized, even if we wanted to go that route, which we never will, and we never did. My dog is literally outside having the time of his life. So yeah, I wanted to clear that up. In Florida, I believe it has to be a massive pattern of behavior with severe injuries, and there has never been that. Anyone who comes to our house and are close to exhibiting a behavior that triggers our dog, we tell them, hey, stop, don't do that, or he will bite you. And it's never been severe because my dog is a literal angel and he would never do that. So yeah, I just wanted to say that real quick because our dog could not be euthanized in the state of Florida, which is where I live. And yeah, not that we would ever go that route, regardless, because we love him and he is our little baby. And again, we love him. He is a literal angel, he's a literal sweetheart, and he's the best dog ever. And yeah,
and he's doing great. He's truly the happiest little dog that I've ever seen in my whole lifetime, and he is the sweetest thing in the universe. I love him. I really truly do. I love him to bits and pieces because he's like a literal sweetheart. So I wanted to preface this video with that. We're like 20 minutes in or something. Not 20, but you got my point. I wanted to preface this video with that because this situation angers me, and I want y'all to understand where my frustrations are coming from. Not only from a humane level, but from an animal lover issue and from a personal experience issue. So Dan Phillippi has had this dog, Bowser, for 9 years, right? I've had my eldest for 10. So around the same time, right? And they would anger this dog, right? They knew this dog had issues because it was attacked as a puppy by another bull terrier. Apparently by Nikki's family is bull terrier, right? And it's a bull terrier, so they have more energy than most dogs. Bigger dogs tend to do that. They tend to have more energy than most other dogs on the dog breed thing, right? And I don't know where my black lipstick is in here. But anyways, so okay, you know what? This is fine. I'll just live with my eye bags for the rest of my life. It's okay. They never did anything to help him. They never got him a trainer so that he could learn how to release his energy by other means. They never got him a specialist to try and treat his trauma, right? And they just in general never helped the dog whatsoever. And there were clips that resurfaced of them putting their Yorkie in front of the bull terrier to like get him to act up, which is obviously disgusting, and they're like laughing about it, right? And then there's another clip that I saw in a Spill Sesh video at first where Dan himself would put his hand in Bowser's bowl, and Bowser would do absolutely nothing. Like the most aggression I saw from this dog was growling because they were putting another dog right in front of his face. And I mean, I feel like that's normal, but especially in a dog who was attacked by another dog. Meanwhile, yes, a full-grown bull terrier is way different than a Yorkie. I don't think Bowser understands dog breeds whatsoever, right? So, yeah, let's get into the situation. To preface this, I haven't watched their video because I am not in a mental headspace to give these people my view. That's just how I've always functioned. I've always been this way as a child. If someone does something bad, I'm not gonna partake in any of what they do. So I haven't watched this video, nor do I want to, because I feel like I would punch my TV or my phone or my laptop or something, but I've watched other people talk about it. I watched the Observe Body Language video on it, where he reacted to the first 11 minutes, and that honestly just gives me all the context that I really needed. Right? So, getting into this video, it's honestly the most disgusting thing I've seen in my whole life. Truly. So apparently the situation that occurred is that their son, I'm not gonna say the son's name, their son had put his hand in the dog's bowl and the dog reacted and like nipped him in the face. Right? And they stated that it was like 20 minutes before they had to get on the plane, and it was this whole inconvenience to their life. But regardless, they went to the airport and went on vacation to visit her mom, to visit Nikki's mom. And that's it. That's the whole situation. That's why they put their dog down. So I know you're sitting there like, Jess, no, you are absolutely incorrect. Like, there has to be more to put your 9-year-old healthy bull terrier down than it nipped their son's face and he was okay enough to go to the airport with them. No. That's it. That's the whole reason. Oh, and also the fact that the dog was way too much of an inconvenience to their life, right? And that's it. That's why they put their healthy dog down, because it nibbled their son's face.
Editing just here because I remembered something from the video. And that is that they talk about Bowser's dolphin teeth, which is basically that his teeth are like really little. Like, they're not like pointy or sharp or anything whatsoever. Like, it really couldn't do any damage. And they say that in the video, that it's like a little scar on their son's face, not like, you know, an actual thing where they had to like go to the hospital, get stitches for him, and get him medical attention. He was fine enough to go to the airport without medical attention, and he just has like a tiny little scar on his face that, honestly, from the videos that I saw, they had his like, one of the videos had his face covered with a little bar, and I couldn't see anything on his face whatsoever, like on the son's face. So the dog didn't do much damage to their son's face whatsoever. You know, it's not like my big dog that I talked about earlier, where he does have sharper canine teeth and he has a strong jaw. Bowser, I don't know about his jaw. I'm assuming it's strong because he is a bull terrier, but his teeth were not sharp enough. They were like little baby teeth. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there for you guys, that Bowser couldn't necessarily have done any severe damage to their son because his teeth just couldn't do that.
And a couple of minutes before they put their dog down, they had a photo shoot with their dog where they had their son sitting next to the dog. And I just want to know, why? I want to know why because I'm not really understanding the reasoning behind this. I'm really not. Because, like, listen, if they were putting their dog down for a valid reason, like it got heartworms or something, like it got an illness, or the dog was too old, I would 100% be down for this photo shoot with their son and everything. When I would 100% be down because of, you know, you want the memories to have that. You know, and if my dog is still alive when I have children and we have to, you know, euthanize him because he's getting too old, and he's just suffering, I would 1000% do a photo shoot with my children, with our dog, because I want to have that memory. I want to have that because, again, love dogs. But the thing is that they were not putting their dog down because he was too old, or because just because he was suffering. They didn't put the dog down because he was suffering. They put the dog down because it nibbled their son's face, and they did not like that. And I'm not gonna put the pictures on the screen because it honestly breaks my heart. Because if you see the big smile that this dog had on his cute little face, I feel like you are going to punch your screen or you're gonna have a mental breakdown. Because that's truly what breaks my heart, is the fact that this dog was so happy with his family, and his family was going to kill him in a couple of minutes. That's what breaks my heart, is the fact that this dog is dead for something so useless. I 100% understand, you know, putting your children first, 100%. But that's just not the case whatsoever. They didn't put their children first. They put their inconvenience first, you know? And that's what truly pains me. They were so inconvenienced by this dog. And they stated that, you know, there were like other times before this where they thought about this. And let me say this right here, right now, real clear. Euthanasia should never be the first thing that you think of when something occurs with your dog. Euthanasia should be the absolute last thing, or should never be a thought at all. Also, if I get on off screen, it's because my dog wants to get out of my room. Ah! And I feel like the real reason that this happened comes a little later in the video, which is that they were moving somewhere, and Nikki is talking about this like, oh, it's really hard to move with him because he is such a needy dog. And I feel like that's the real reason that they put this dog down, is because they were moving and they didn't want to be inconvenienced with beautiful Bowser. And like Ready to Clear said in her video, I feel like since they are such a big channel, if they didn't want to put the money or time to train him, I am 1000% sure that there would have been people who could have taken him in and could have helped him, could have gotten him the training, could have shown him the love, because dogs deserve that. That's what a dog deserves at the end of the day. They deserve for their owners to love them as much as they love their owners. I saw Laura DIY's video on this, and she talked about no, not cheat. There was someone in the comments, okay. There was someone in the comments who talked about Jenna and Julian's dog, Bunny, who was in an abusive home when she was a puppy, and through showing her unconditional love and getting specialized training for her, they were able to rehabilitate her to the point that she found happiness. And yeah, that's all I have to say is yeah, because that is always possible. They talked about how Nikki talked about in the video, they had talked to the Humane Society about this situation, and the Humane Society basically told them that there's no other way besides euthanasia, but there is always another way. There is always a family looking to help these animals. There's always a foster family looking to help dogs in need. And I am 1000% sure that they could have had a doggy or pet foster family in their community that could have taken Bowser in, and in the end, Bowser didn't have to die, but he died because two people were too inconvenienced with his life. And that's truly what breaks me, as it breaks everyone else. And I am so sorry that this little chat with me isn't as direct as many others, but it's honestly because I'm so upset that the only thing keeping me from showing that anger is trying to focus on my makeup. Because I don't understand it. I don't understand why they got the dog in the first place. I don't understand why they didn't do their research into the dog, into dog breeds. I just don't understand any of it. And I know Dan had the dog before. I don't know if it was before they met, when they were dating, something like that. I don't understand why they didn't rehome him earlier, because they clearly knew that they wanted children. And they clearly knew that Bowser had his issues. These two eyes don't match, but it's fine. They clearly knew that Bowser had his set of issues, and they clearly knew that they wanted children. So I really don't understand. And to bring home my point from earlier, because they talked about how he had his aggressive tendencies, that's because you failed him as a dog owner. You knew what he was going through, and you just decided to let him. And you knew one day it was gonna get bad. So I don't know why you allowed for it to continue the way that it did until something happened. And they also just completely failed their son, because they never taught their son boundaries. They never taught their their son, to not go up to Bowser's bowl and put his little fingers in it or anything like that. They never taught their son any of that. They never put Bowser in another place where their son couldn't get to him so that Bowser could have his alone time to eat. They never put in place anything so that this situation could be prevented. They just played dumb and ignorant until it slapped them in the face. And then now that it did, they want to feign sadness. Like, no one feels bad for you, because everyone can recognize that you could have done something before this occurred. You had the dog for 10 years and you knew that it had its trauma. Why didn't you do anything about it before? And it's not like my situation where I can't afford to do anything. They have the money. They have 2 million subscribers. They have the money. They clearly do. So I don't understand why they're acting like this was the only solution, because it clearly wasn't. There are way more solutions. There are way many other steps that they could have taken before this situation had to become what it was, before it had to become what it is currently, which is their dog is dead. There is therapy, there is training, and there is rehoming. And like the man from Observe said, I don't know his name and I am so sorry. You could have tried to get this dog therapy, and if it wasn't working for the dog or for your lifestyle, you could have rehomed him. Those are the steps that you take when you have a dog such as this. There, you know, the dog clearly has issues. It may not take well to your child. And even then, they talked about how their child had hurt Bowser before. And gave him cauliflower ear. And how Bowser did absolutely nothing. And again, I fail to see where this dog is severely aggressive at the drop of a hat, or every single time it breathes in aggression. I fail to see it, and I know I'm looking at it through clips and people only put certain parts of their lives out there, but maybe that's just me and I'm the crazy one. And in their personal lives, this dog is actually extremely aggressive. But again, that's not the dog's fault, that is their fault as the owner. Like I said, if you call a dog aggressive, that says more about you and your ownership than it says about the dog and its behaviors. Also, I am so sorry, I'm trying to do my eyeliner. You know, and that's just me. Oh wow, for the first time I'm gonna do lipstick for one of these videos. Another thing I would like to add is that in this video, Dan says that when their son was nibbled in the face by, I have so many lipsticks, was nibbled in the face by their dog, he wanted to kill him Old Yeller style. And if you don't know what Old Yeller is, Old Yeller is a movie by the Walt Disney Company that talks about a young boy who grows alongside a dog, and in this movie the dog fights a coyote or another type of animal, and it gives him, the coyote gives the, then why did you come in, bruh? My dog is annoying. so is the rest of my family. But anyways, so the dog gets rabies, and the movie is from the 1950s. I do not know if it is set in the 1950s. I assume so. But anyways, so they have to kill the dog because I don't think there was a cure for rabies. So they tie this dog to a tree and shoot him. And apparently, this is what Dan wanted to do to poor Bowser. He was just protecting his space, might I add.
Oh my god, I'm not in bed anymore. Ah! Crazy. Yeah, I still need to make my bed. But anyways, editing Jess here, and I would just like to make the note of dog having rabies and dog protecting its food are two completely different situations, and one is less severe than the other one. And I forgot who made this point exactly, but I know someone made the point of, I'm gonna link all the videos that I've seen on this situation, right? But someone made the point that because Dan would like shove his hand in Bowser's food, it like trained him to attack whenever someone puts their hand in his food. So basically, instead of training him against food aggression, he trained him and conditioned him even more towards food aggression, because every single time he sees someone putting his hand in or near his bowl, it's just gonna trigger that thing in him to, oh, I have to do something. Even though he didn't do it with Dan, it could trigger it for other people. So I wanted to add this comment in here too, because he was like, oh, I wanted to kill my dog, like Old Yeller was killed. And it's like, yeah, but Old Yeller was killed because he had rabies, which is a pretty valid excuse, and the whole family was upset, and you guys killed your dog because it was an inconvenience.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one. I was gonna do this one, but I'm gonna go with this one. Apparently this is what Dan wanted to do to poor Bowser, after it nibbled his son's face. You know. And again, I understand if the dog had severely injured their son. Granted, I wouldn't understand putting him down for that, because you could just rehome him. And like Lord DIY said in her video, they could have taken him to a shelter and they would sign papers that would make the shelter liable for anything that happens with the dog. So if the dog hurts someone or anything like that, in its shelter time, the shelter would be liable instead of Nikki and Dan. But I mean, I honestly, again, don't think that they care about being liable. They care about not being inconvenienced. Even though, I mean, if they were liable for their dog biting someone severely, they would be inconvenienced, because that is an inconvenience. And also terrible. I think that's all I want to say on the Bowser situation. Nikki Phillippi is also not the best human. I have heard that she is against vaccines. She tells people to do their research. People who are for vaccines, she tells them to do their research. And I would just like to say that I have done my research, and vaccines are pretty good, because diseases such as smallpox and measles, I believe, were eradicated due to vaccinations. But now that people don't want to get vaccinations, those diseases and illnesses are coming back. And remember, it doesn't just affect you and your child. If your child gets smallpox, it affects everyone else, which is why public schools require, at least in my state.
Hello, editing, Jess here back in my bed, but I googled this because I remember I saw a TikTok where you can like bypass the whole like vaccination thing from public schools by going to other doctors and getting a letter that says that your child does not need to be vaccinated because of medical issues or something like that. And I'll flash it up on screen. In my state, you are exempt from getting your vaccination if it goes against your religious beliefs. So every single day, I hate it here just a little more. And with that, I will spread my quote-unquote liberal agenda and tell you to please get your vaccine.
They require for children to be vaccinated. Because if your child is not vaccinated and gets one of these illnesses and they may be an asymptomatic carrier, or they show the signs and you just couldn't care enough, you can infect other people's children, and those children can affect their parents, and their parents can affect other people, and then you get a super spreader situation because you decided to be a fucking moron and not Google for 2 seconds. She's also an anti-masker because masks make her sad. And to that point, I would just like to say it makes me even sadder that more than 500,000 people in the United States alone have died because of COVID-19 than me wearing a mask. And it is Mother's Day today, and millions of people worldwide do not have their moms to celebrate today. Hundreds of thousands of people in the United States today don't have their mothers to celebrate Mother's Day because of this global pandemic. And I think that fact makes me sadder than having to wear a mask, my child having to wear a mask, and having to see other people wearing a mask. Honestly, the only time I feel sad seeing someone wearing a mask is when they're not wearing it correctly, like those people who wear it under their nose or on their chin. That's honestly what makes me sadder. The saddest about having to wear a mask is how stupid some people are and how ridiculous they can be. I understand masks are annoying and we are not used to them, but they are effective. And if you didn't know that, now you know, Mr. President, because due to masks and being quarantined, many people have not gotten the flu this year, or well, last year during flu season. And I'm a person who gets the flu every season because my body's just sensitive like that. I would also get really sick just as a child because I had moved here from the cold climate crisps of Oregon to the hot climate of Florida. Right? So I would get pretty sick, and I do get sick pretty easily. And I didn't get sick at all last year. Granted, I went absolutely nowhere last year because I tried to quarantine as much as I possibly could and only went to places when I had to. So, yeah. And I mean, regardless, now I am almost fully vaccinated. I'm getting my second dose of Moderna on the 18th of May, which possibly by the time you're seeing this, I may have gotten my second dose, because this is pre-filmed and this is gonna go up way after Mother's Day. What's next Friday? What date? Okay, so next Friday is the 14th. And then the Friday after that, I'm probably going to be posting this video, which is May 21st. So I most likely, yeah, I'm going to be vaccinated by that point. And I'm also going to have my license by that point, which is super exciting. Yeah, I took my driver's ed test with a third party, and I passed. So now I just need to go to the DMV and pick up my license, which is super exciting, actually. I'm really excited for this. But yeah, this is the end of my video. I am so sorry if I just rambled a lot and just went in circles. But it's honestly because I am extremely heated to the point that my energy is so low. Because there are many things that don't sit right with me, and animal abuse and cruelty is obviously one of those things, and I feel like in this situation there is a lot of cruelty because they just murdered their dog. And apparently what happened, because some people were saying like, oh, like an actual vet would never kill a dog because it nibbled their son's face in a non-life-threatening way, and he's a healthy dog. Bowser was a healthy dog. So they were like, no vet would do this. Apparently they just hired an anesthesiologist to come into their house and put Bowser down, which Bowser deserved so much better than these people. And honestly, I hope their Yorkie gets taken away too. And I hope that these people are put on some list along with Brookhouse of people who should never own dogs in their lifetime, because it's upsetting to me. And maybe people who shouldn't have children because they don't know how to raise their children in a way to respect their dog or boundaries. And even if their son was severely attacked, they just put their son right next to this dog for some Instagram clout.
Hello, editing Jess here yet again, because I mean, no one comments on my videos, but I feel like some people would be mad at me, like, oh my god, Jess, you can't say that they should get their kids taken away too. And I mean, the thing is, maybe it's like my type A personality, right? But if I knew I wanted to have children and I want or have a dog like Bowser, right? Who is aggressive or has the capabilities to be that way and can severely injure my child, I would do my research and I would do my part into analyzing how I can have these two things cohabiting in the same space, and whether that is to cage train my dog or have my dog and my child in separate locations when the dog eats, and condition my child to not go up to the dog meanwhile it's eating and not to do certain behaviors around the dog. I would do that 100%. And in their video, they stated that they've wanted to put Bowser down, or that they could have, for 5 years, meaning since he was 4 years old. they could have put him down since then, and they didn't have a child then. I believe the Thailand thing was in 2019, maybe 2020, and they had their child in 2020. So he is about a year old or over that at this point. So they knew they've wanted to have children since then. They just never did the proper research, or they never hired the proper people to make this a safe space for both the dog and the child. So I don't feel like they can continue to create that space, even though Bowser is gone. And I don't think that they should have a child because they can't do that. I hope that explains it a little bit better. And clearly they just want to, oh no, I have a pimple on my chin. They clearly just want to exploit anyone and anything that they possibly can. Speaking on the Thailand adoption situation, so glad Thailand has that law. Personally, I wish it was until the age of 18, because that way children can consent a little more. Maybe, I know the brain isn't fully formed till 25, but I began making YouTube videos consistently at 17, and I kind of understand the fact that this video is public to everyone, and anyone can click on this video if they're interested in seeing me, and millions of people can just see me opening my mouth wide open. Please don't take that out of context. To put my eyeliner on, So I kind of understand, and I feel like maybe at 16, children can understand that a little more, can understand some of the ramifications of that, like people at their schools can watch them and stuff like that. So personally, I wish that law was just extended a little more far past 1 year, to maybe 16, so that, you get me? Because children do need to be protected on the internet, and family channels, all they do is just exploit their children because they can. Who's gonna tell them no? Absolutely no one, because YouTube is a strange gray area. The internet is a strange gray area. Obviously in Hollywood you have laws that protect children, such as a percentage of the money that they make, or all the money that they make, is saved for them in a bank account that they can access when they're 18 years old. They can only work for a certain amount of hours, so it's not that exploitative. However, on YouTube there is no such thing, because you can't really do much about that. I think I'll leave a Smoky Glow video down below about it. She has multiple videos expressing this. So yeah, I think this is where I'm gonna end my video. The situation is disgusting, to say the least. And the more information that comes out about these people, the more I'm disgusted. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's not like many of my other videos. One, because I actually did my makeup. Wow, a makeup channel who does her makeup. So yeah, that's the end of this video. If you like this video, like it. Leave me a comment down below on what you think of this situation, if you think of anything. And yeah, I'll see you guys hopefully in another video. Subscribe, click post notifications. I have a couple of cool stuff coming up for June, since it is Pride Month. It will be the return, I guess, or something,
of my history series where I talk about minorities who did cool, amazing things, because we are not talked about enough in history, and you cannot argue that with me because I have done my actual research on this. And yeah, I also have 2 other videos sprinkled in there. Hint, hint, one of them is about bisexuality, and then the other one is giving everyone an English lesson because some people don't understand the basic principles of English. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have liked, commented, and subscribed, and shared this video. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Lisa, everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something